All right, show me the money. NFL picks for week number 5 here on the podcast. Season flies when you're having fun, and my next guy's having a lot of fun. His team is 4-0 entering week 5. The great Joey Castellano from the Hitmen softball team, and big Viking fan. Joey, how are you?
Good, Mike. How are we doing?
Pretty good. I can see you're very enthusiastic right now. I mean, you guys are playing very well.
It's a different year. It's a different year. Feels completely different from I don't think I've ever experienced the first 4 weeks of the season the way I've ever felt watching a Viking game in general. So we'll get into it, but no, it's good so far. Let's put it that way.
Yes, so far so good. And I mean, they gave you a little scare on Sunday when they get the big lead. They almost give it all back to the Packers. But what was your big takeaways from that game?
Um, so the first half was like a blur. I was like, is this really happening? We're up 20 nothing. And then that muff punt happened.
Yeah.
Basically let the back in the game. From a opinion, like my perspective, I'm kind of happy that happened, that they kind of came back, almost actually won, because it kind of woke them up a little bit. I feel like they were kind of riding high. Box score didn't really show it, but they kind of dominated the Niners and the Texans, and then obviously the Giants week one. I felt like things were just going too easy. Then they're up 28 nothing right out of the gate this last game. I felt like they needed some sort of, wake up call, especially going to London this week. Weird things happen there, and I think they just need some sort of, I guess, yeah, I guess I'll just say, a wake up call, just because it just seemed like everything was just going too well the first 4 games.
Yeah,
But
I mean, you couldn't expect this, obviously, when they take the rookie quarterback, JJ McCarthy, goes out in the preseason. You get Sam Darnold basically off on his fourth NFL team. He comes in, now he's an MVP candidate. So, do you buy what we're seeing here at Sam Darnold? You think this is for real?
so I was the one basically advocating for Sam Darnold all summer. I think I've like argued with, at least three Jet fans, I'll say, just because, oh, Sam Darnold, and then, you know, oh, you really think like he's gonna be like, if you guys are really expecting him to be good, that's pretty sad coming from the Vikings. And I'm just like, look at him, like he's never been in that kind of situation before. Like he's been on the worst team. Well, at the time, no offense, but the Jets didn't have a lot of weapons around them back then. They were kind of in a setup in a crappy scenario for him. And then after that, he leaves and goes to the Carolina Panthers. Like another same exact scenario, just, going into the NFC now. So I think this is the best situation. I think he's, sitting a year with Kyle Shanahan last year. I think it was just he sat behind Purdy, then now he has his opportunity now. It's kind of similar to Baker Mayfield last year. So, um, yeah, I always advocate for him. I've been like the one arguing with Jet fans all summer. They're saying he sucks, and I'm just like, he's never been in a better situation. So we'll see what happens. I mean, after the first 4 weeks, didn't expect this. I'll say that, and I'm not going to sit here and say, "Oh, I expected this to happen," but
Yeah.
um, it's been good so far, and I've been enjoying every second of it.
Yeah, it certainly has been very interesting here. Now you got the Jet game in London, which is going to be interesting because obviously you got the revenge game for Sam Darnold against the Jets. We beat them the last time you saw them was in Carolina here. Jets coming off that disastrous loss against Denver here. Now you got the Devontae Adams trade rumors going here. I think this game, I saw the spreads 2.5. I feel like it's a very close game regardless because the Jet D will show up. It's a question of like what the Jet offense does, in my opinion, against the Brian Flores defense.
Yeah, I think both defenses are great. I think, yeah, I mean, the Jets defense always scares me. I think last week the Jets kind of overlooked this situation at hand, and we're kind of looking towards the London game, versus the undefeated Vikings versus, taking care of business right in front of them. Weird game. That was a weird game, which I won't get into with you, but it seemed like it was kind of like an overlooked situation. I think they're going to put out a lot more of an effort this week. I think we'll see some more of an effort. And honestly, these London games are weird, so who knows what's going to happen.
Yeah, that was interesting for you, obviously, too, with your old friend Aaron Rodgers coming into town also here. And like he's always
Yeah,
given the Vikings nightmares over the years. So see if he's got one more in him.
yeah, that's not looking forward to being on the other side
Yeah.
of that one again. It seems like he's just been ruining Viking fans' lives for like 20 years now. At least it feels like it.
Yeah, on the bright side for you though, he's out of the division. You don't have to deal with him after Sunday.
Right. Yeah. Now, how do you feel about the Jets right now? What's your take on last week and going forward?
Well, last week was sort of a situation where like I was worried about that one because whenever they have extra rest under this coaching staff, they perform very poorly, and that was the case here. They had the mini bye, so I feel like they're getting more locked in this week than they were last week. But again, like a learning curve with Rodgers and this offense still existing, so that could be a problem with Brian Flores D.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because like he kind of went from like week one, week two, he was like looking okay. Then that Thursday night, was it the Thursday night game?
Yep.
He looked like the old Aaron Rodgers. And then all of a sudden we come back to next week and it's like what just happened? It's like it's going back and forth. It's like which now it's almost at the point which Rodgers we're gonna get.
Yeah.
Um, if he looks like he did that Thursday night game though, it was Thursday night, right?
Yep. It was Thursday night.
Yeah, if he looks like he did that game, then it's going to be a long day for me and Viking fans. But I've been loving Flores' defense, and he's been shutting everyone down so far. Besides second half of last week, but it's going to definitely. I think it's going to be a good game. I think the Jets are going to definitely bring some sort of big effort overseas. So we'll see what happens, but we'll get into the picks shortly, and we'll talk about that some more.
Yeah, let's get into those picks now here. And a mutual friend of ours, Will Smith, came on the podcast last week. He had a rough time. He went 0-3 on the week. So yeah, he took
Yeah.
his Cowboys laying the six. They didn't cover it by only won by 5. He took the Browns,
Yeah.
and I warned him against that game. Took them getting the 2. They could have won if they don't commit the penalty on that long touchdown pass to Sean Watson throws to Cooper. And then the Cardinals laying 3. Good pick in theory, and then Jaden Daniels happened.
I don't think I could even make fun of Will. I went 0-3, I think, last time I came on this podcast.
Yeah.
I think what happened? I think I did some sort of scenario of like the Vikings and then like every other scenario they needed to make the playoffs and everything happened the opposite. I went 0-3.
Yep. Yeah, I had 2-1 last week. I had the Ravens laying a 2.5 on Sunday Night Football. They blew the Bills out. I had the Niners laying the 10 against the Patriots. That was also a blowout. I had loss was the Falcons laying 2.5. They went at by 2 at the gun. So 2-1 for me for basically 4 straight weeks. So far I'm 8-3-1. I had a push week 1, but I've had a winning week every week so far.
Yeah, no, that's good. It was like 66% or something close to that.
Yeah,
Love that Ravens pick last week. That was the pick I really loved.
yeah. The Challenger team's not off to a hot start. They're 3-9. I think 1-8 over the past 3 weeks. So you got to try and turn this around, Joey.
I gotta turn this around, man.
Yeah. All right. So time to try and turn it around here as the guest. You can go first. Where are you going with pick number 1?
So pick number one, I am going with the Jacksonville winless Jaguars at I think it was 2.5,
Yep.
or is it the three? The 2.5. So Jacksonville minus 2.5. Got them under a field goal. They got to win this game. Like this is crazy. They're 0-4. They're gonna be. I can't see them being 0-5. I don't think they're that bad. I think that this is if there is a spot anytime, I feel like this would be the game. I think home divisional game. So, and who knows what's going on with Anthony Richardson and um, I just think I'm just choosing it just because I think it's just they're gonna win. They have to win.
Yeah, I'm with you on that pick as well as other my picks as well. One of those, if not now, when spots the Jaguars. Like if they don't get this game, what's happening? I have a stat that'll make you very happy with this pick. The Jaguars have not lost at home to the Colts since 2014. They have won 9 straight games at home against the Colts. So the streak,
I hate these kind of stats.
they find ways to win in Jacksonville against the Colts. So I think the trend continues here. I'm with you on that one. Where are you going with pick 2?
Pick two, I am taking the local New York Football Giants. Plus 6.5, I think is the number it's at. It's under a touchdown, which I wish it was over a touchdown, but it's more just going against the spot Seattle's in. Seattle is coming off the Monday night game, and then they have the Giants on this Sunday, and then they have a Thursday night game versus the division rival. San Francisco 49ers. So kind of look ahead, kind of like we were talking about the Jets. I think they might be, big game last week, sandwiching the Giants in between. You could argue the worst of the three games in 11 days. I think it's just a really bad spot for Seattle. Seattle might win the game, but I think it's going to stay close. And I like the Giants the way they give us a fight here and there. So I'll take them to cover the 6.5. I wish it was over a touchdown, but I will take the 6.5.
I would love this was over a touchdown here. The extra rest helps the Giants too, because they played on Thursday last week. So they have 3 extra days to get ready for this game. My one concern would be if Malik Neighbors doesn't play with the concussion, and I don't know where the weapon's coming from, but if he does, I think you're in good shape.
Yeah, he's been a beast so far. I'm excited to see the way he goes with this team.
All right.
Well, I think I
Last
forget
pick.
the quarterback.
Yeah, last pick. I think I know where you're going with the last pick.
Um, how do I not come on here and take that? I feel like every time I come on here, I take them, but this is the week I have to take them. They're playing the Jets in London. So the Vikings -2.5. I think, I hope they get the job done. Like I said, a couple of times already, these London games are kind of weird games. I do think the Jets are going to bring a lot better of an effort this week versus last week. I think they were kind of overlooking, knowing that they're going to England this week. Um, but I got to ride with my boys. We're on a Jets podcast facing the Jets. I got to go Vikings -2.5.
I can't blame you for that. I would be disappointed if you didn't take that pick.
How do I just like randomly pass up on that pick when I'm coming on here to talk about?
Yeah. Your picks are on the board. I already gave you one with the Jaguars. I gave my second pick here. I'm taking the Packers laying 3 in LA against the Rams. Jordan Love looked like he got it back together second half. Rams have been a mess with all the injuries here. That is not a home field advantage. There's going to be a ton of Packer fans and cheeseheads out in LA. And I think Green Bay is going to get it rolling here. I think they pick up a big win. I'm only laying 3. Give me the Packers pick 2.
I agree. I think they're definitely going to cover this. This is going to be a get right spot for them. Sure, I like the pick a lot.
All right. Pick number 3. I'm going to Sunday Night Football. I'm taking the Steelers laying 2.5 at home against the Cowboys. I feel like this is a respect number for the Cowboys. This is their rep, but all the injuries here. DeMarcus Lawrence is out for this game. He's on IR. Micah Parsons likely out too. Dallas D has been a mess. Pittsburgh's D is strong. Dallas not really have a running game going here. This spot where I'm laying less than a field goal. A team that does very well at home. I will take this happily with the Steelers and run to the bank with Pittsburgh.
I love it. I love it. This was actually going to be my game that I was going to choose and send to you too. So we would have both had the Jaguars and Steelers, and so. But this would is probably my fourth. So I love it.
All right. So to reset the picks for the week here, Joey's taking the Jags laying 2.5 at home against the Colts. The Giants getting 6.5 in Seattle against the Seahawks. His Vikings laying 2.5 in London against the Jets. My picks made a family play on the Jags. We have the Packers laying 3 in LA against the Rams, and the Steelers laying 2.5 on Sunday Night Football against the Dallas Cowboys. So those are our picks for week 5 on the podcast. Coming up next week here, none of our Hitmen teammates, Phil Frietta's is coming by next week to do some picks.
How's he been so far? Has he come on yet?
He's not come on yet. He's coming on next week or catch up on our MLB over-unders too. We actually end up a tie on those.
I remember you guys did that. Yeah.
Yeah, we end up 3-3 on those. We'll recap that fully for the audience next week. Joey, thanks for all the time. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it.